I think he's selfish, he's racist, he's misogynist, he's a liar, probably the worst liar we've ever seen in public life.
John Legend, an incredible voice, countless hits, and a passion that goes far beyond the music. But did you know that behind those love songs is a man with some pretty strong political opinions? He's taken on Donald Trump, split from Kanye West over politics, and isn't afraid to speak his mind. From fighting for voter rights to calling out injustice, John's activism goes hand in hand with his music. And trust me, the drama between him, his wife, and Trump, you won't want to miss that.
So I don't think they actually believe that celebrities should shut up. They just want celebrities to agree with them. And if they don't agree with them, they want them to shut up.
Before we get into the politics, let's rewind a bit and take a look at how John Legend became, well, a legend. Born as John Roger Stevens in Springfield, Ohio in 1978, John showed musical promise from a young age. He was a child prodigy who began playing the piano at just 4 years old. By the time he was in high school, John was already performing with his church choir and exploring different musical styles. John's big break came after he graduated from the University of Pennsylvania. He worked as a management consultant by day and played gigs around New York City by night. It took the man 6 whole years of going unnoticed until Kanye West, who was just starting to make a name for himself in the early 2000s, took him under his wing. John contributed to several Kanye tracks and eventually released his debut album, Get Lifted, in 2004. The album was a massive success, earning him 3 Grammy Awards, including Best New Artist. From there, John Legend's career soared. He released hit after hit, including classics like Ordinary People, All of Me, and Glory. He became one of the most respected artists in the industry, known for his smooth voice and ability to blend R&B, soul, and pop into something uniquely his own. While music is what makes him smile, John never has been one to shy away from speaking his mind on issues that matter. His journey into activism began long before he became a household name. Raised in a family that valued education and civic engagement, John was always encouraged to think critically about the world around him. One of his earliest public forays into activism came in 2007 when he launched the Show Me campaign, an initiative aimed at breaking the cycle of poverty through education. This was just the beginning of John using his platform to advocate for change. As his fame grew, so did his commitment to activism. John became increasingly vocal about social justice, particularly issues affecting Black Americans. He's spoken out about police brutality, racial inequality, and the need for criminal justice reform. For John, these issues are not just abstract concepts, they're deeply personal. Growing up as a Black man in America, he has experienced discrimination firsthand, even after he found fame. Reflecting on his college years at the University of Pennsylvania, he recalls being questioned by the police simply for trying to get into his own car, as if he didn't belong on campus. This stark reality opened his eyes to the challenges Black Americans face daily, a reality that many of his peers never encountered. John has spoken about how his experiences with racism fueled his desire to advocate for change. He recognizes that his celebrity status now affords him privileges that protect him from some of the harsh realities faced by others in the Black community. I'm in a position of privilege and celebrity, so there's a lot of doors that open for me that aren't open for other people, he admits. But those early experiences have stayed with him, and they serve as a constant reminder of why he uses his platform to speak out for those who can't. One of the most headline-grabbing moments of Legend's political life was his very public fight with former President Donald Trump. It all started with a tweet. During Trump's presidency, John took to Twitter to slam Trump's policies and rhetoric, calling him a racist and unqualified for the role of commander-in-chief. But it didn't stop there. In 2019, after Legend appeared on MSNBC to discuss criminal justice reform, Trump lashed out on Twitter, calling John a boring musician and referring to his wife Chrissy Teigen as filthy mouth. In typical Legend fashion, John fired back, urging people to focus on the issue at hand rather than engaging in a Twitter war. This public spat only solidified his reputation as someone unafraid to stand up to those in power, even if it meant taking on the President of the United States. But John's activism doesn't stop at just criticizing Trump. He's also been vocal about the need for systemic changes in how our government operates. One issue that he's particularly passionate about is the filibuster. For those who might not be familiar, the filibuster is a Senate rule that requires a supermajority to pass most legislation. In John's view, the filibuster is a tool that has been used to block progress on important issues like voting rights and criminal justice reform. John has called for the filibuster to be abolished, arguing that it's time for the Senate to reflect the will of the people. He believes that getting rid of the filibuster is crucial if we want to see meaningful change on issues that matter to everyday Americans. Another highly publicized fallout occurred between John and Kanye West. Once close friends and collaborators, their relationship took a nosedive over politics. Legend revealed in an interview that their friendship soured due to West's support of Donald Trump and his own run for president. Legend was pretty vocal in his disagreement, saying that their different political views became too much to sustain their friendship. Kanye, who's never been one to shy away from controversy, saw John's lack of support as a stab in the back, and that was the end of their friendship. The question is, if not Trump, then who does John root for when it comes to politics? As it turns out, he has been a steadfast supporter of the Democratic Party for years. He's been using his platform to endorse candidates and advocate for progressive causes. He was also a strong backer of Hillary Clinton during her 2016 presidential campaign, publicly criticizing Donald Trump as unqualified and unfit for the presidency. Legend's activism is deeply rooted in his love for America and his desire to see it live up to its ideals. He's a patriot who advocates for a better and more perfect union. But this patriotism doesn't mean blind loyalty. It's about pushing the country to be better, to do better. John often talks about the importance of democracy and the need for everyone to participate in the political process. He believes that voting is one of the most powerful tools we have to affect change. In his words, we have justice and rights on our side, and we win when there is a big turnout and folks express themselves in our elections. This belief has led John to be an outspoken critic of efforts to suppress the vote. He's been particularly vocal about the actions of those on the right who, in his view, are willing to fight dirty to stay in power. He's called out voter suppression tactics and urged his fans to get involved, stay informed, and most importantly, vote. Of course, being outspoken comes with its downsides. John has faced plenty of backlash for his political views, especially from conservative circles. Some critics argue that he should stick to music and leave politics to the politicians, but John isn't having it. He's said in interviews that he understands the risks that come with speaking out, but he believes that it's worth it and he's willing to ruffle a few feathers if it means fighting for what he believes is right. One of the challenges he has faced is balancing his activism with his music career. There are those who believe that artists should stick to their craft and leave politics to the politicians. But John disagrees. He believes that music and activism are deeply connected, and that as an artist, he has a responsibility to use his platform for good. This commitment to activism hasn't gone unnoticed, and John has received numerous awards for his work, including the Harvard Foundation's Humanitarian of the Year Award and the Salem Advocate for Social Justice Award. Above all, John wants people to understand that they have the power to make a difference, whether it's through voting, volunteering, or simply staying informed. He believes that everyone has a role to play in making the world a better place. He's also a firm believer in the idea that we're all in this together. In his view, the challenges we face as a nation can't be solved by any one person or group. They require all of us to come together and work toward a common goal. As he once said, we're stronger when we're united, and we can achieve more when we work together. Words of wisdom from a true legend.